The night everyone saw them. The photo hit my phone at 8:17 p.m. I remember the exact minute because I was standing in the cereal aisle at Target, debating whether Honey Nut Cheerios counted as healthy enough, when my phone buzzed. One notification. A message request. No name, just a profile picture of a woman I didn't recognize. The image loaded slowly like it was giving me time to brace myself. There he was. My husband, Ethan Walker. In a black tuxedo I had helped him pick out 3 years earlier, standing beneath crystal chandeliers at the Jefferson Grand Hotel. His arm was wrapped around a woman in a red gown so tight it looked poured onto her body. She was laughing, her hand resting confidently on his chest, as if she belonged there, as if he belonged to her. The caption underneath the photo was short. "I'm sorry you had to find out this way." The world didn't stop spinning like people say it does in moments like this. Instead, everything kept moving too fast. Shoppers walked past me with carts full of groceries. A kid screamed 2 aisles over. Somewhere nearby a scanner beeped. And yet I couldn't breathe. Because that gala? The annual Midwest Philanthropy Ball? That was our thing. Or at least it used to be. For 12 years, Ethan and I had attended that gala together. It was the kind of event that defined a certain tier of American success. The men in tuxedos, the women in designer gowns, the unspoken competition over whose donation would be announced loudest. The kind of night where reputations were polished and alliances quietly formed over champagne flutes. Ethan was a corporate attorney climbing fast. I was the woman beside him, the supportive wife, the polished partner, the one who remembered names and smiled at the right donors. Until this year. "This one's going to be boring," Ethan had said 2 weeks ago, loosening his tie at the kitchen counter. "Just donors and speeches. You won't miss anything." I'd believed him. I'd stayed home. Like a fool. Before we begin, if you enjoy stories that touch the heart and remind us of life's quiet miracles, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It truly helps our little storytelling family grow. I abandoned the cart right where it was and walked out of Target without buying a thing. I don't remember the drive home. Only the way my hands shook on the steering wheel and how every red light felt like an insult. When I got home, the house was too quiet. The suburban kind of quiet. The kind you buy into when you move to a tree-lined neighborhood with good schools and matching mailboxes. The kind that's supposed to mean safety. I dropped my keys on the counter and opened the photo again. This time I noticed the details. Her diamond earrings, expensive. The way Ethan's smile wasn't polite or practiced, but wide. Relaxed. The fact that his wedding ring was missing. That last part hurt the most. I didn't cry right away. I poured myself a glass of wine instead, then another. I sat on the living room couch and stared at the family photos on the wall, like they belonged to strangers. There we were in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. There we were at my sister's wedding in Ohio. There we were last Christmas, matching pajamas and fake smiles. Had he already been with her then? The thought crawled under my skin. At 10:42 p.m. my phone buzzed again. This time it was Ethan. "Ethan, Gala ran late. Heading home soon." I laughed. It came out sharp and ugly, startling even me. I didn't respond. When he finally walked through the door just after midnight, I was waiting. I hadn't changed. Still in my jeans. Still sitting upright on the couch. The wine glass sat untouched on the coffee table now. A dark red ring staining the wood. He froze when he saw me. "Hey," he said cautiously. "You're still up." I held up my phone. The color drained from his face. For a moment, the confident attorney, the man who argued multimillion-dollar deals without breaking a sweat, was gone. What stood in front of me instead was someone smaller. Someone caught. "Where did you get that?" he asked. "That's your first question?" My voice was steady, which surprised me. Not who is she or how could you? Just where? He opened his mouth, then closed it again. "She's a colleague," he said finally. "It's not what it looks like." I stood up. "Don't," I warned. "Don't insult me with that line. Not after 12 years." Her name I learned was Lena Carter, 32, marketing director at a firm his company partnered with. Single, beautiful in the effortless curated way. Perfect hair, perfect body, perfect timing. He'd met her at a conference in Chicago. One thing led to another, he said, rubbing his temples. It wasn't supposed to go this far. And the gala? I asked. Was that an accident too? He didn't answer. The truth spilled out slowly, like he was hoping to control the damage by pacing it. They'd been seeing each other for 8 months. 8 months. She knew about you, he admitted. I told her I was married. That somehow made it worse. So why bring her there? I asked. Why humiliate me like this? He looked up at me, then eyes red. She wanted to go, he said quietly. She said it was important. For networking. I stared at him, disbelief turning into something colder. You chose her, I said. Over me. Over us. I didn't think. No, I cut in. You did think. You just didn't think you'd get caught. He slept in the guest room that night. I didn't sleep at all. By morning the photo had spread. A friend texted me, hesitant, full of sympathy. Another sent a vague "Are you okay?" message that told me everything I needed to know. By noon, Ethan's firm had called him in. By evening, the regret started. He came home early, tie loosened, shoulders slumped. They're not happy, he said. The optics are bad. I didn't respond. They're reviewing my position, he added. They said personal conduct reflects on the firm. That's when it hit him. Not when he saw my face the night before. Not when he confessed. Not when he broke our vows. But when his reputation cracked. I made a mistake, he said, standing in the doorway like he didn't know if he was allowed to. Come closer. A terrible one. I finally looked at him. You didn't make a mistake, I said calmly. You made a series of choices. He swallowed. She's already texting me, he admitted, asking if I'm okay, if I still want to see her. And do you? I asked. For the first time he hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. Outside, the neighborhood lights flickered on as evening settled in. Somewhere down the street, a couple laughed as they walked their dog. Life cruelly went on. Ethan sank into the chair across from me. I don't want to lose everything, he said. I nodded slowly. Then you shouldn't have gambled it. Because what he didn't understand yet, what he would understand soon, was that the gala wasn't the end. It was the beginning. And the regret? That was only just getting started. When the apologies started, and the doors closed. By the end of the week, Ethan's name had become something people whispered. Not shouted. Not condemned publicly. Just lowered voices. Tight smiles. Emails that went unanswered. That's how it works in places like ours. Upper-middle-class American suburbs where reputations are currency and scandal spreads politely, wrapped in concern. I saw it firsthand when I went to the grocery store again. The same Target. Same parking lot. Different stairs. A woman from my book club pretended not to see me. Another gave me a sympathetic half-smile that felt worse than outright judgment. Someone had talked. Of course they had. At the checkout, the cashier asked, "How's your husband doing?" Like it was small talk. I nodded. Paid. Left. I cried in the car that time. Ethan, meanwhile, had shifted into survival mode. Every morning he left early and came home late, claiming meetings, calls, damage control. He started speaking in legal language even at home. They're evaluating risk, he said one night, pacing the kitchen. The board hates surprises, especially ones that come with photos. Funny, I replied flatly. You never seemed to mind surprises when you were sleeping with her. He flinched. I said I was sorry. You said it, I corrected. You haven't shown it. He stopped pacing. What do you want me to do? He asked, frustration leaking through the cracks. I looked at him. I want you to understand that apologizing isn't a reset button. 3 days later, Lena Carter showed up at my door. I didn't know it was her at first. The doorbell rang just after noon. I thought it might be a delivery. When I opened the door, she stood there holding a small leather purse, dressed casually but flawlessly, cream sweater, dark jeans, glossy hair pulled back like she belonged in a lifestyle magazine. She smiled nervously. "Hi," she said. "You must be Claire." I didn't step aside. "And you must be the woman my husband paraded around like a trophy." Her smile faltered. "I just want to talk." I laughed once, sharp and humorless. "You talked plenty at the gala." People always imagine these confrontations as explosive, screaming, hair-pulling, dramatic declarations. But real life is quieter, colder. I folded my arms. "You have 5 minutes." She nodded, relief flickering across her face like she'd expected worse. "He told me you knew," she said quickly. "About us." "He lied," I replied. "Again." Her jaw tightened. "He said you were separated." There it was, the oldest excuse in the book. I stepped back and opened the door wider. "Come in," I said. "If we're going to do this, we might as well be honest." She sat on the edge of the couch like a guest who knew she wasn't welcome. "I didn't plan for any of this," she said. "I didn't think it would get so serious." "Yet you went to a public gala with a married man," I said evenly. "That takes planning." She swallowed. "He told me he loved me." The words landed like a slap, but not for the reason she expected. "He told me that once too," I said. Right before he forgot what it meant. Her eyes filled with tears. "He said you didn't understand him anymore. That your marriage was more like a business partnership." I leaned back, studying her. "And did it ever occur to you that a man lying to his wife might also be lying to you?" She looked away. "I know how it looks," she whispered. "No," I said softly. "You don't." When Ethan came home that night and found her purse on the coffee table, his face drained of color. "You came here?" he asked, her voice sharp. "I had to," she said. "You weren't answering my calls." I stood between them. "You don't get to argue in my house," I said. "Not anymore." They looked at me then, really looked, as if realizing for the first time that I wasn't just collateral damage in their story. "I'm done," I continued. "Both of you." Lena's breath hitched. "What does that mean?" Ethan asked. "It means you leave," I said. "And she never comes back." He hesitated. That hesitation was the crack that finally broke something inside me. "Go," I repeated. "Now." He moved into a short-term rental across town that night. The kind with neutral furniture and thin walls. The kind men end up in when they realize too late that comfort isn't guaranteed. The silence in the house afterward was strange, but lighter. Ethan tried calling every day, then texting, then showing up unannounced. "I miss you," he said once, standing on the porch like a stranger. "I miss our life." "You miss the stability," I replied. "Not me." He shook his head. "That's not fair." "No," I said calmly. "What you did wasn't fair." At work, things unraveled faster. He wasn't fired outright. Firms like his prefer quiet exits. But he was removed from major cases. His name stopped appearing on internal memos. A younger associate took over his corner office. "They're giving me time to rebuild trust," he said bitterly over the phone one night. "That's corporate speak for, we're watching you bleed out." I didn't comfort him. Lena didn't fare much better. Her company quietly reassigned her. The gala photo had reached more eyes than she realized. In industries obsessed with branding, perception matters. She texted Ethan constantly. He showed me the messages once, unprompted. I didn't sign up to be the villain. We were supposed to be honest. "You said you'd leave her." I handed his phone back. "You did this," I said. "To both of us." He rubbed his face, exhaustion etched into every line. "I thought I could have both worlds," he admitted. I nodded. "And now? I'm losing everything." I met his gaze. No, I corrected. You already lost it. You're just feeling it now. The real turning point came 2 weeks later. I received an envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was another photo, older this time. Ethan and Lena at a hotel bar. His arm around her. Date stamped nearly a year ago. Along with it, a handwritten note. In case you think it was just a phase. I didn't show Ethan. I didn't need to. I already knew. That night I sat alone in the living room, legal pad on my lap. I made a list. Assets. Accounts. Retirement funds. The house. American marriages don't end with shouting anymore. They end with paperwork. And as I wrote, something unexpected happened. I felt calm. For the first time since the photo, my future didn't feel like something stolen. It felt like something waiting. Ethan had gambled everything on a fantasy. And now the bill was coming due. The day I stopped asking why. The first meeting with the divorce attorney felt surreal. Not dramatic. Not heartbreaking. Administrative. Her office sat above a coffee shop in downtown Evanston. The kind with exposed brick and framed diplomas lining the walls. Outside the window, commuters hurried past, clutching paper cups and backpacks, unaware that my life was quietly being dismantled one document at a time. Tell me what you want, the attorney said, pen poised. I opened my mouth and froze, because for years, my wants had come second, to Ethan's career, to appearances, to the version of marriage we sold to the world. I want peace, I said finally. She nodded like she'd heard that answer 1,000 times. Then we'll be very precise, she said. Ethan didn't take the divorce well. Not in the explosive way people expect. He didn't shout or threaten or beg on his knees. He unraveled. His messages shifted tone daily. One morning it was guilt. I ruined the best thing I ever had. By evening, resentment crept in. You're throwing away 12 years like they meant nothing. I stopped responding. The house became mine in ways it never had been. I rearranged furniture, took down the framed photos, packed his things into boxes without ceremony. The act felt almost sacred. Each folded shirt, each tie, another quiet goodbye. One afternoon, I found a receipt tucked into a suit pocket. A hotel. A date. Before the Chicago conference he'd admitted to. I sat on the bed, BG's playing softly from the radio, music my mother used to clean to, and laughed. Not because it was funny, because I was done asking why. Lena tried reaching out again. This time not as a rival but as a casualty. Her email arrived late at night. I never wanted to hurt you. He said he was unhappy, that you were already emotionally gone. I stared at the screen for a long time before replying. If you're looking for forgiveness, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking for truth, start with yourself. She didn't write back. The first real crack in Ethan's composure came when the firm made it official. Not termination. Mutual separation. That phrase appeared in a carefully worded email copy to HR, legal, and senior partners. He called me immediately. They're pushing me out, he said, voice hollow. I gave them everything. I almost said so did I. Instead I said nothing. Silence, I'd learned, was far more effective. Without the firm, Ethan lost more than income. He lost identity. In American culture, especially for men like him, work wasn't just a job, it was worth. Status. Proof. And without it, the cracks widened. He started showing up unannounced again. You're being cruel, he said one evening as I stood firm in the doorway. I'm at my lowest. I met his eyes. You were at your highest when you betrayed me. He didn't have an answer for that. The divorce proceedings moved faster than I expected. No children. No dramatic custody battles. Just negotiations and numbers. The house was the sticking point. I built my career for this, Ethan argued in mediation. It's not fair to just take it. I smiled politely. Neither was cheating, I said. The mediator cleared his throat. What surprised everyone, including me, was how quickly my own life expanded once Ethan's presence receded. I started saying yes to invitations I'd always declined. Dinner with coworkers, a weekend yoga retreat in Wisconsin, a spontaneous road trip with my sister. At one dinner, someone asked what I did. "I'm figuring that out," I said, and I meant it. The truth about the Gala surfaced publicly a month later. A donor quietly withdrew support. A journalist sniffed around. Nothing scandalous enough for headlines, but enough to seal Ethan's professional fate. He showed up drunk one night. I didn't let him in. Through the door, he said, "I don't recognize my life anymore." I rested my forehead against the wood. "I recognize mine," I said softly, for the first time in years. The final straw came when Lena left town. She accepted a job on the West Coast. Ethan told me like it was news I'd care about. "She's gone," he said. "It's over." I waited. "And?" I asked. "I chose you," he said. "I'm choosing us." That was when something inside me finally went still. "You don't get to choose me anymore," I said. "I already chose myself." He stood there, realization dawning too late. That night, I slept better than I had in months. Not because things were easy, but because they were honest. Ethan had chased validation and lost everything that mattered. And I had lost a marriage, but gained something far rarer. Myself. The life he watched me build without him. Spring arrived quietly. Not with dramatic changes, but with small, undeniable signs. The magnolia tree down the street blooming again. Joggers returning to the sidewalks, patio furniture reappearing on porches. Including mine. I painted the front door a deep navy blue. It felt symbolic. Intentional. A boundary made visible. People noticed. The neighborhood adjusted to my new status faster than I expected. In America, divorce is rarely treated as tragedy anymore. It's treated as a transition. One that comes with cautious curiosity and unspoken rankings. At first, the invitations slowed. Then they returned. Not couples dinners, but brunches, book clubs, wine nights, conversations that didn't revolve around my husband's job. One woman leaned in at a dinner party and whispered, "You handled everything with such grace." I smiled. Grace, I'd learned, was often mistaken for silence. I took a job. Nothing flashy. A communications role at a nonprofit focused on housing advocacy. The pay was modest, but the work mattered. For the first time in years, my contributions weren't measured by how well I complimented someone else. The office had bad coffee and mismatched chairs. I loved it. Ethan, on the other hand, drifted. He picked up contract work. Short-term consulting. Nothing stable. When we met to finalize paperwork, he looked older. Not physically, emotionally. "You look different," he said, studying me like I'd changed species. "I am," I replied. He swallowed. "I thought once Lena left, things would settle." "That wasn't the problem," I said. "She was just a symptom." The Gala committee quietly removed Ethan's name from their board. He heard about it secondhand. The same event that had made him feel powerful now pretended he'd never existed. In American society, relevance is fragile. And once it cracks, it rarely comes back together the same way. I attended the next year's gala. Not as a spouse. As a guest of the nonprofit. I wore a simple black dress. No diamonds. No pretense. When I walked into the ballroom, conversations paused. Not because of scandal, but recognition. People smiled. They welcomed me. Ethan wasn't invited. Someone asked, "Are you happier?" I thought about it before answering. "I'm lighter," I said. That felt more accurate. Ethan tried one last time. A handwritten letter. Not an email. Not a text. Paper. Ink. Effort. I see now what I threw away. I thought success meant being wanted by everyone. I didn't realize it meant being chosen by one person who truly knew me. I folded the letter and placed it in a drawer. Regret, I'd learned, was not a currency. I began dating, not seriously, not desperately. Just honestly. Coffee with a man who asked about my work instead of my past. A walk along the lake with someone who listened without interrupting. No fireworks. Just calm. One evening, months later, I ran into Ethan at the grocery store. Different store. Same city. Same universe. He looked surprised and then hopeful. "You look good," he said. "Thank you," I replied. We stood there, awkward, surrounded by produce and fluorescent lighting. "I'm still paying for my choices," he said quietly. I nodded. "I know." He waited, perhaps for absolution. I offered none. As I walked away, I realized something unexpected. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel victorious. I felt complete. The thing he could never take back. The divorce became official on a Tuesday. No courtroom drama. No raised voices. Just signatures, timestamps, and a judge who looked tired in the way people do when they've seen too many endings that could have been avoided. When I walked out of the building, the air felt different. Not celebratory. Clear. I didn't tell many people. American culture treats divorce like a milestone. Something to announce, analyze, rank. But this felt personal. Private. Like the last page of a book I didn't need reviewed. That evening I went home, cooked myself dinner, and ate at the kitchen table alone. And I wasn't lonely. Ethan didn't come to collect the last of his things. He sent a mover instead. 3 men I didn't know walked through the house, lifting boxes that once contained pieces of my life. One of them asked, "Anything else going?" I shook my head. "No. That's everything." And it was. The months that followed were quiet but full. I traveled. Not extravagantly. Just enough to remember I could. A weekend in Santa Fe. A solo trip to Seattle. Long walks in unfamiliar neighborhoods where no one knew my story. I learned that anonymity can be healing. The gala happened again the following year. This time the headlines focused on donations, not scandals. Ethan's name never came up. That was the final consequence. Not humiliation. Erasure. I heard through mutual acquaintances that he'd moved to a smaller apartment. That he'd changed industries. That he was working on himself. Good. Growth doesn't require an audience. One afternoon, nearly a year after the photo, I received a message request. From a name I didn't recognize. I don't expect a response. I just wanted you to know that seeing you walk away was the moment I realized I needed to change too. It was Lena. I read it once. Then I deleted it. Some chapters don't need replies. The man I eventually fell in love with didn't arrive with grand gestures. He arrived with consistency. He showed up when he said he would. He asked questions and listened to the answers. He didn't flinch when I talked about my past, but he didn't define me by it either. One night, sitting on the couch, he asked gently, "Do you regret your marriage?" I thought about Ethan, the gala, the photo, the long nights of disbelief. "No," I said. "I regret staying quiet for too long." He nodded like he understood. I ran into Ethan one last time. Not at a store. Not by accident. At a charity event hosted by my nonprofit. He was there as a guest. Not a speaker. Not a sponsor. Just present. He approached me slowly. "You built something good," he said, gesturing around the room. "Yes," I replied. "I did." He smiled sadly. I wish I'd been strong enough to appreciate what I had. I looked at him, really looked. The regret was genuine and irrelevant. "I hope you find peace," I said, and I meant it. As I walked away, I understood the final truth. Ethan didn't regret losing me. He regretted losing the version of himself that felt respectable when he stood beside me. That's the thing about betrayal. You don't just lose the person you hurt. You lose the future you thought you deserved. That night at home, I stood in front of the mirror and smiled. Not because I'd won, but because I was free.